ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. So welcome to our Saturday morning session. Sorry we could not meet last week because of some unexpected reasons, but we will try to keep our meetings as regular as we can. Now we will continue on chapter 10 of Bhagavad Gita, which is Vibhuti Yoga. But let's recall a little bit. In the verse number 2, Lord Krishna started saying that my birth or my appearance cannot be understood by anybody, not by Devtas, not by Rishis, because I am origin of all those origins. Like if I want to say that I can never describe the birth of my father because he originated before me. I cannot describe. I have to just accept it. So this is how it is. And he continues on that explanation that expecting a sort of proof on my birth is not possible. And the mind cannot, accept it except through Shraddha. Now, that is the point where we were discussing this, that Shraddha is the most important aspect here. So we will start with verse number 9 today. What I was saying is that the, the most profound truth of our existence have been revealed in the previous verses by Lord Krishna. And those truths are not possible to be verified physically by any one of us because all these happened much before we were born. And he says that even Devtas were born afterwards, which is the truth. The Maharishis were born afterwards, which is also the truth. And therefore, they also cannot understand the appearance of the Almighty as it happened in the very beginning. So now let's go to verse number 9. निरंतर मुझ में मन लगाने वाले और मुझ में ही प्राणों को अर्पण अर्पण करने वाले भक्तजन मेरी भक्ति की चर्चा द्वारा आपस में मेरे प्रभाव को जानते हुए गुण और प्रभाव सहित मेरा कथन करते हुए निरंतर संतुष्ट होते हैं और मुझ वासुदेव में निरंतर रमण करते हैं. Now this is again based on the concept of Shraddha, that if you start believing that the Almighty is everywhere, He is the cause of all causes, He is the origin of the universe, He is the beginning, middle, and end of the universe, then what we should do is very clear, that we have to surrender ourselves to Him. And then we only, while eating, while drinking, doing all our activities of the day, we all the time constantly remember Him. Now here he has said that मेरे प्रभाव और गुणों को आपस में डिस्कस करते हुए. Now what does it mean? It basically means that, when you are totally, deeply drowned in the Almighty, in the fact that He is the supreme force, He is the controller of everything, then everything in your life automatically changes. You see, I started believing in that, and I started realizing that my life is changing considerably, because then you do not feel that you are the doer, and you do not bother what is the outcome of the action you have taken. You start accepting things as they come, and then automatically, the Almighty comes in your mind constantly. So this is what he's saying here, that once you are under the spell of the truth, that everything in this universe originated with him, he is the controller of everything, then your thinking will automatically demonstrate. You will not have to work. It will automatically demonstrate the impact of the Almighty, and then your very appearance will give rise to spiritual thinking. Like, for example, we meet in this group, we discuss. We don't have to make an effort to discuss. The discussion automatically happens on spiritual issues because we are tuned in that particular spirit now. When you go and meet some people in the market, you have to make an effort to talk on spiritual issues. And then also people may not understand. But once you are tuned to the Almighty, once you are accepted the reality that He is the one who is the cause of all causes, He is the one who is, controlling everything which happens here, that would automatically change your behavior as it has changed our behavior. Now, whenever we meet, we discuss spiritual issues. We talk about him. This is what he's referring here. That once that influence happens, your thinking direction changes. The direction, for example, a person who is alcoholic, he all the time thinks about alcohol. His thinking is like that. He wants to meet people who drinks alcohol. He wants to go to the place where alcohol is available. He will discuss with those people who are drinking. Similarly, those who are completely intoxicated with the Almighty and accept Him as the truth of our existence, then that intoxication will automatically lead to a total surrender of ours to Him, and we will all the time keep discussing that. Now, when we meet now, I remember many meetings with some of my, colleagues who discuss spiritual issues. We automatically enter into that debate, that discussion. That okay, this is what true, this is not true. Like Tarun and me were discussing before we started today. Exactly, this is what he's saying in this verse. That once you are impacted, once you have accepted that supreme reality as the part of your life, then automatically whatever you will discuss, whatever you will do, whatever activities you will do, they will all dedicated to the Almighty. Because there's nothing else except Him. This is what he says in this verse. And then the next verse, उन निरंतर मेरे ध्यान आदि में लगे हुए और प्रेम पूर्वक भजने वाले भक्तों को मैं वह तत्व ज्ञान रूप योग देता हूं जिससे वे मुझको प्राप्त होते हैं. Now, this is very profound statement. You see, we cannot get that tattva gyan based on our efforts. Our efforts have to be supplemented or rewarded by the Almighty. And Almighty is saying that once you get to accept Him as the supreme power and you are constantly thinking of Him, then He gives you, He provides you that faculty which enables you to understand this whole universe in its real form. Like Ved Vyas gave the Divya Chaksu to I forget his name, Sanjay, to Sanjay. And then Sanjay was able to, recite every single event which was happening in the war of Mahabharata, including the Bhagavad Gita. So similarly, this Divyata, the divine power, the divine faculty comes to us only when we are totally surrendering to Him, dedicated to Him. Then He gives us that divine power. So the divine power does not come because of our efforts, it comes because of our surrender. If we accept the total reality, then the divine power will automatically come, and then we will start thinking in that direction, and automatically we will understand the realities of life. So this is the verse number 10. And then once you understand the realities of life, naturally you are one with the Almighty, you are with Him, you have achieved the nirvana, you are absolutely liberated person in that sense. Then verse number 11, हे अर्जुन, उनके ऊपर अनुग्रह करने के लिए उनके अंतःकरण में स्थित हुआ, मैं स्वयं ही उनके अज्ञान जनित अंधकार को प्रकाशमय तत्व से, तत्व ज्ञान रूप दीपक से नष्ट कर देता हूं. Now this is reinforcement of the verse number 10, that you see there is a story that when God created this whole world, uh, people started reaching him with all kinds of problems. Millions of people say, this is my problem, that is my problem, my health is not good, my son is not getting job, my wife is quarreling with me, my dad is very sick, this my neighbor is fighting with me. They all started going to the Almighty with all kinds of problem. Now imagine every human being going to the Almighty with hundreds of his problem. What would be the madness there? So the God thought that, the Almighty thought that, what should I do? Where should I disappear so that these human beings don't reach me? So the story says that many people say that you go on Mount Everest or you go in the bottom of the ocean. Then some others said, no, if you go on the bottom of the ocean, human will also reach there. If you go on the top of the Mount Everest, the humans will also reach there. So one old man came and said, he suggested that why don't you hide in their heart? Because they will never reach there. And that is struck to the Almighty. Almighty says, okay, I will hide myself in their heart and they will never be able to find me. And because they will always be driven by their mind and their intellect in this world. So this is what happens to humanity. We are always driven by our mind and by our intellect into the world, and we never look for the Almighty sitting inside. So here what he's saying, that मैं उनके अंतःकरण में बैठा हुआ, that I am sitting in their inner self, and I will be able to completely destroy the delusion and the what you call all the darkness which is hidden in their system from sitting there. This is what he's saying. So the God is always, the Almighty is always sitting inside, the divinity is always sitting inside. So this is he is reinforcing this fact that I'm sitting inside you. If you surrender to me, then I will help you in total destruction of the delusion and darkness which is lying with you, and you will be enlightened with total knowledge. Now, this is what Lord Krishna is saying here. So, in this section, from verse number 1 to 11, he has profoundly stated that the mysteries of my existence and my coming are not easy to understand. Then he also gives an order how the world came into existence. He explains those deep truths, and then he says, if you want to understand these truths, then you have to surrender to me, you have to have Shraddha in me, then automatically you will start, your life will change, you will start talking about me, you will start thinking about me, and then slowly I will enlighten you, I will take away all your darkness, and you will be known, given the knowledge of the truth. This is what he's saying in these verse 11 verses of this chapter. So these are some of the fundamentals of life, but not easy to understand because we all have our ego, we all have our intellect. We want to test all of them on ego and intellect, and this is what is going to happen to Arjuna as well, and that is why he is asking the questions now. So let's go into each questions. The verse number 12 and 13, he says, Arjun bole, आप परम ब्रह्म, आप परम धाम और परम पवित्र हैं, क्योंकि आपको सब ऋषिगण सनातन दिव्य पुरुष एवं देवों का भी आदि देव अजन्मा और सर्वव्यापी कहते हैं। वैसे ही देव ऋषि नारद, असित और देवल ऋषि तथा महर्षि व्यास भी कहते हैं, और आप भी मेरे प्रति कहते हैं। नाउ if you read these two verses in its profoundness, you will find that Arjun is still not able to accept Lord Krishna as Almighty. He is quoting, he is saying कि ऋषिगण भी आपको कहते हैं ऐसे कि आप महान पुरुष हैं, आप सृष्टि के कर्णधार हैं, you are the cause of all causes, you are the Adi Dev, you are without birth, you are without end, without any change, you are eternal. This is what the rishis are saying. Why does he have to? When you are talking to the supreme power yourself directly, you don't have to say this. Whatever he says, you accept it. Obviously, the Arjuna was not fully convinced. Maybe he thought that after all, Krishna is only my charioteer. He is helping me in navigating my path in the war and navigating my path in the life. He was not fully convinced. Though slowly started realizing that he has the supreme power, but he was not 100% convinced. And that is why he is saying that और लोग भी ये कहते हैं, अरे भाई जब आपके सामने वो आप ही कह रहे हैं उसको क्यों नहीं मानते, बट और लोगों को कोट कर रहे हो. That means that he was not 100% convinced. There's some doubt in his mind, in his brain, in his intellect, some doubt somewhere that he is not the supreme being, and that is why he wanted to probe it further. So he says, ये सब लोग कहते हैं तो मैं मान लेता हूं कि आप हैं. You see his wording here. He's not saying I accept it. He says मैं मानता हूं. फिर if you read the verse number 14 also, it will become clear. हे केशव, जो कुछ भी आप मेरे प्रति कहते हैं मैं उस सबको सत्य मानता हूं. वो सत्य है ये नहीं कह रहा, वो कह रहा मैं सत्य मानता हूं. This is the most important part here. The Sanskrit word is manye yanma vatsi केशव, कि मैं मानता हूं उसको सत्य. उसने टोटली ये कह रहे हैं कि आप कह रहे हैं इसलिए मैं सत्य मानता हूं, देवगण कह रहे हैं इसलिए सत्य मानता हूं, नारद कह रहे हैं इसलिए सत्य मानता हूं, महर्षि व्यास कह रहे हैं इसलिए सत्य मानता हूं, देवल ऋषि कह रहे हैं इसलिए सत्य मानता हूं, लेकिन स्टिल ही हैज सम डाउट. हे भगवान, आपके लीलामय स्वरूप को न तो जानव जानते हैं और न देवता ही जानते हैं. नाउ he is getting into the reality that he is the Almighty, he is the Supreme Lord, but he has some doubt left. And this is why this question has arisen to him. Otherwise, this question will not arise. If we are sitting and talking to the Almighty Himself, and you are saying that the rishis are saying that you are the Almighty, that Narad is saying that you are the Almighty, that Devtas are saying that you are the Almighty, it means that you have some doubt. That's why you are not accepting His own words. This is what we have to understand here. And this is why we will lead to next chapter 11, where Krishna will have to reveal his true identity. So this is how the Arjuna is probing him, because of that doubt which he had, little bit doubt left. He was more or less convinced, but more or less was still there. He was not 100% convinced. And that is why he was asking these questions. And then he says that everybody understands you well, but despite all that, you have to reveal certain things to me. That is what is coming in the next verse. हे भूतों के उत्पन्न करने वाले, हे भूतों के ईश्वर, हे देवों के देव, हे जगत के स्वामी, हे पुरुषोत्तम, आप स्वयं ही अपने को जानते हैं. Now this is a very profound statement from Arjun here, because you see, you cannot understand somebody else unless you become one with him. So he was not one with him. That is why he is saying that आप स्वयं ही जानते हैं, मैं नहीं जान सकता आपको, because he has not become one with him. He was not युक्त. Yogi means you have become one with the Almighty, then you become yogi or you become yukt. Now that state had not arisen so far with Arjun. And that is why Arjuna is saying that आप ही अपने को ही जानते हैं, आपको कोई दूसरा व्यक्ति नहीं जानता. While the rishis who became one with him, they started knowing him fully, and that is how they revealed the truth of the life and our existence. So these verses, these 4 5 verses which Arjuna is saying here, they depict a shred of doubt in his mind. He was more or less convinced that, Krishna is the supreme power, but he still had some doubt. So here he is using very, profound language. कि हे भूतों के उत्पन्न करने वाले. He is using the language which Lord Krishna has used from verse number 1 to verse number 11. कि हे भूतों के ईश्वर, हे देवों के देव, हे जगत के स्वामी, that that you are controlling everything, you are absolutely fine. हे पुरुषोत्तम, आप पुरुषों में भी उत्तम हैं, आप जगत के स्वामी भी हैं, आप सब existence के, you are the god of all existence. And this is the language which he has used. लेकिन आप स्वयं ही अपने आप को जानते हैं, दूसरा आपको कोई नहीं जानता. वो that sentence comes from Arjun because Arjun is not one with him. He still has that shade of doubt, and therefore that yukt. The word yukt means to become one. जैसे आप पानी में नमक डाल देते हैं तो you cannot take the namak out of the water. It becomes one with water. So this is the state when you become yukt. Now he was not yukt. That is why he is using this word कि आप स्वयं ही अपने आप को जानते हैं. Otherwise, Arjun could have known him also the same way if he had become one with him. But that state had not come, and he has accepted that while saying this. So this is very interesting statement by Arjun here. इसलिए आप ही उन अपनी दिव्य विभूतियों को संपूर्णता से कहने में समर्थ हैं, जिन विभूतियों के द्वारा आप इन लोगों को व्याप्त करके स्थित हैं. Now he wants him to reveal. Vibhuti means basically bhoot and vibhut, the thing which has appeared in physical form in the world. That is vibhuti, or the word has also been used bhoot. But bhoot is in totality. Vibhut means specific references, that each category, for example, human being is one category, animal is another category. So if vibhuti depicts the physical existence of all types of species of life and physical features which we can see in the world, with which we can understand with our 5 sense organs, to be more precise, with sound, with touch, with sight, with hearing, and with the taste, and with the smell. With these 5 sense organs, whatever we can understand, that is manifest in the world. And he's asking that, tell me, the different facets in which you have appeared in this world, the different manifestations that you can be seen by me, different manifestations. Because this question shows very clearly that there was some doubt in the mind of Arjun about what Krishna said in the beginning of this chapter. So now verse number 17. हे योगेश्वर, मैं किस प्रकार निरंतर चिंतन करता हुआ आपको जानूं, और हे भगवान, आप किन किन भावों में मेरे द्वारा चिंतन करने के योग्य हैं. Now he wants to know, how do I understand? So this is a very legitimate question, that he is very keen to know him in full, in its real true form, but he is not able to understand that fully yet. And that is why he is saying that in what form in what variety of existences I should thought about you, I should think about you, and I should, meditate on you in what forms. This is what it's saying. Because that meditation will ultimately enable him to understand the truth. So, indirectly, he has very clearly said here that he has not fully understood you, that I have not understood you, Lord Krishna, but please tell me the different, facets in which you have appeared in this world, and how do I, meditate on those facets so that I can understand you fully. So this is very, very clear. This whole, intervention by Arjuna here is based on his doubt, and Lord Krishna fully understood that, and that is how he will respond slowly, slowly. Now, verse number 18. हे जनार्दन, अपनी योग शक्ति को और विभूति को फिर भी विस्तार पूर्वक कहिए, क्योंकि आपके अमृतमय वचनों को सुनते हुए मेरी तृप्ति नहीं होती, अर्थात मेरी उत्कंठा बनी ही रहती है. Now, of course, he is completely, enjoying the discussion. He is learning a lot. There's a lot of curiosity, which is, igniting his energy, and he is giving full attention to the Almighty, to Lord Krishna, on all these issues. But he very politely and humbly accepted here that I have not been able to understand you fully. लेकिन मैं मानता हूं कि जो आप कह रहे हैं वो सच्चा है. वो ये नहीं करेंगे मैं जानता हूं, करें मैं मानता हूं कि आप जो कह रहे हैं वो सच्चा है. मानना और जानना, these are two profoundly different words. Manna means that you accept as somebody else says it. And Janna means that you know it personally. That's how you accept it after knowing it fully, personally. So that personal experience was still missing in Arjuna. And that is why he told Lord Krishna that tell me different facets or different manifestations of your power in this world, which I can meditate on and understand you. This is what he's saying, and that tell me with great detail, because whatever you are telling me is so fascinating, so interesting, that my curiosity still remains, and I'm still, wanting to know more and more about you. Now, after this, of course, the Lord Krishna will tell various manifestations of Almighty in this universe, in this world. But before we go into that, let's understand two things once again. One is that understanding the Almighty through mental framework and through intellect is one thing. Like, for example, we read Bhagavad Gita, we read Puranas, we read Upanishads. We get knowledge from there. We understand the text intellectually. The text goes in our brain, we meditate over it. But that is not full understanding. That is the beginning of the understanding. That starts our curiosity, that gives us the clarity how to move forward. But then, if you continue on the second stage, that whatever is said there is true, then you keep meditating on that. That meditation is very important. The constant attention, how it happened, and when you start seeing the real world, you feel that how this is happening. Then your curiosity increases, and you reach in the second stage, which has been expressed by Almighty in verse number 9 and verse number 10. That you all the time think about him, you talk about his influence around the world, you talk spiritual things, you discuss spiritual things, and then we reach the third stage where the Almighty gives us that power, that divine power, which enables us to understand this whole universe in its totality. So these are the three stages which we have to understand. First, we have to accept that okay, this universe is origin and running of this universe is full of mysteries. We cannot easily understand it. But then we read about it, we develop curiosity. That the first stage that we apply our intellect and our mind to that, and then slowly we deepen that understanding through discussion, through debate, through talks, through reading and rereading. Then mentally our frame is formed. Then we are mentally ready, and then with that, the experience will come only when the Almighty enables you to do so, and that enabling comes only with surrender, only with total dedication to Him, only with Shraddha. So this is what these stages are here. Now Arjuna has already passed through these stages, but he has not gone into the third stage yet. He is not one with Krishna yet, and that is why he is asking in the outer world, how can I understand you? He is asking for vibhutis, and he's saying जो कुछ आप कह रहे हैं मैं उसको सत्य मानता हूँ, सत्य है ये नहीं कह रहे हैं वो, because he has not realized it yet. But he is very candidly accepting it that, I have not understood what you are saying fully. And therefore, you tell me in the manifest form how I can think upon you, how can I, meditate on you, in what forms I can meditate for you, in what forms you appear in this world, so that I can understand you better. So this is what Lord Krishna is saying here. Now, I think we can move forward. We have some time, so we can take one or two verses further down. Now, these are verses which will give us a very profound knowledge about the world surrounding us. Like very often, I think in my mind when I go for a walk, I look at trees, I look at flowers, I look at fruits, and I look at different species of life. Then what I do, I think that, you see, they have the same existence as we do. They breathe, they drink the water, they eat food, whatever food they have. They get the same subsistence as we do. But everybody is different. On the same earth, you put a plant of mango, next to it there's a plant of neem, next to it there's a plant of pomegranate. Now they have the same ingredients. The same sun is available to them, same earth is available to them, same water is available to them, same air is available to them, but they develop very different characteristics. A neem tree is so different from mango tree, and mango tree is so different from pomegranate tree. Each part of them is different. It is because that basic characteristic is different. That characteristic which a tree acquires is based on the quality, which is inherent in the seed. Exactly the same way, there is a seed in each one of us. That seed enables us to interpret this world in our own way. We interpret this world with the same input, but the interpretation is very different. Some people become spiritual, some people become Gnostic, some people become criminal, some people become politicians, some people become businessmen, because those characteristics which we inherit in our seed is different. But in case of a tree, that quality cannot be changed. But in case of a human being, that quality can be changed. This is what we have to understand. A neem tree cannot become a mango tree, whatever it does. But a human being, a criminal person, can become spiritual. That is possible. And that is possible because we have the faculty of mind and intellect. We have these two faculties very well developed, which are not there with animals, which are not there with with the plants and trees. So, so this quality, this faculty of us, which has been endowed to us, can transform us. Even if we are neem tree, we can become mango tree. Even if we are criminal, we can become spiritual. Even if we love money and power, we can still become tyagi. We can become great, for example, look at some of these, like this Bill Gates is in India these days. Somebody asked him this question. I was listening to his presentation. Somebody asked him question that you enjoyed more when you were earning a lot of money, or you are enjoying now more when you are donating this for the cause. So his first reaction was that he's enjoying more now when he's donating it, but he also enjoyed when he was earning it. So you see, these are two opposite activities. Earning is that you are taking from others and you are becoming rich and rich, and now you are giving it to others. So the transformation can happen only in human being. It cannot happen in animals and plants and trees. And this is the reason why human beings are a very special, species of life. And we are the one who can, actually transform ourselves and reach the Almighty. We can become one with Him. We can become yogi. So this is what is important. That is why human life is considered a very special life. So here in verse number 19, Lord Krishna starts now. श्री भगवान बोले, हे कुरुश्रेष्ठ, अब मैं जो मेरी दिव्य विभूतियां हैं उनको तेरे लिए प्रधानता से कहूंगा, क्योंकि मेरे विस्तार का कोई अंत नहीं है. प्रधानता से कहूंगा मीन्स a few examples he will give, because each expansion is infinite, which cannot be explained in language. Infinite cannot be explained. That's not possible. Now there's another thing here. Pradhanta se means he is also saying choosing one from that particular category. So, like for example, if he talks about mountains, he will choose one mountain. So he is choosing one from that category. So it's ek roopta. There's a word for that which I'm forgetting right now, but that is important. It's not only pradhanta; it's also that he's choosing one from that particular, variety of existence. So he's saying that Vistar Kantani, obviously it is infinite. The universe is infinite. We cannot, you know, explain it in terms of language. Language has limitations. It's not possible to explain that. And therefore, he says that I'll tell you some principal, uh, you know, manifestations of mine in this world. And now he starts. Verse number 20. हे अर्जुन, मैं सब भूतों में हृदय में स्थित उनका आत्मा हूं, तथा संपूर्ण भूतों का आदि मध्य और अंत भी मैं हूं. He starts with the most profound. He starts that I am sitting in each one of you. Bhuton here not only means human beings, Bhuton means all species of life. That I am sitting in each one of you. मैं उनका आत्मा हूं. You are in existence because of me. It also means that. For example, I am in existence because there is a Chaitanya in me. Once that Chaitanya goes out of me, I will be dead and I'll be one with, with the, we call it mitti, one with the soil. Then my body will become, go back to those five elements of physical universe. So पंच तत्वों का शरीर पंच तत्वों में मिल जाएगा. That will happen once the Chaitanya goes out. So सब भूतों का आत्मा हूं, उनके अंदर बैठा हुआ हूं, आत्मा हूं मैं. मेरे बिना आप एग्जिस्ट नहीं कर सकते. और उनका बिगिनिंग में हूं, मध्य में हूं, एंड में हूं. Now beginning. Now this question has been asked to me a few times. that when a fetus is formed, when does the life come into existence? The answer is very clear. No fetus can be formed without the entry of life. The life enters, then only the fetus starts forming. Without that, life cannot generate, life cannot come into existence. Some people have given an analysis that the life comes after 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. No, that is not true. Without the entry of life, without the entry of Atma, the life cannot begin. The fetus cannot form. The formation of the fetus, it starts with the beginning of life. That autumn of life enters along with, the egg and the semen, and that is where the life begins. That is where the formation of fetus starts. So he starts, the life begins with him. And Madhya means the whole or our life, we have this Chaitanya, we have this consciousness inside us. If we don't have consciousness, it's over. Then there's no life. So all the time he is with us. This Chaitanya is with us means he is with us all the time. And also he is with us because at the end, the life goes separately and the body goes separately. The body goes into the five elements and the life goes separately. So he is there from the beginning till end with each one of us. Not only human beings, all species of life, whatever may be their number. Like the space provides existence to everything here, whether it is moon or sun or cities or earth or galaxies, the space provides existence to everything. Similarly, the Almighty provides existence to all that we see, all that we can conceive. All this universe with its infinite expansion is provided existence because of the Almighty's existence. Once he leaves, the existence goes away. But there are two varieties here, which of course he described earlier, the Parashakti and Aparashakti. Aparashakti gives the physical existence, the physical nature which we call it, which is existing. And Parashakti gives life to the life force. The life force comes into being because of Parashakti. And here he is talking about Parashakti, that मैं सब भूतों का आत्मा हूँ, उनका beginning हूँ, उनका middle हूँ और उनका end हूँ. So this is the most fundamental and most, I would say, profound explanation of manifest world which he is giving now because of this question by Arjun. So I think we will stop here today up to verse number 20, and we will move forward because in subsequent verses he talks about many manifestations. Some of them are very profound and we will have to understand each one of them with some depth. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, I would try to answer in my best possible way. Thank you.